So I recently came across a video which talked about how to improve your communication skills, and I found it quite interesting and useful, so I'll go deeper into it today. And so firstly, I want to talk about how the voice and the speech can be changed. And so the voice is not a fixed identity, but it's actually learned movements. So things like airflow and how the mouth movement and articulation, it's all learned from people around us. And so, say for example, if you have different accents, it's all because of the place you grew up in. So maybe maybe a Chinese accent versus an Indian accent. Obviously, um, um, people have grown up in different places, so they've learned different things from people around them, and so that's where the accent comes from. And so many are trapped in their habitual voice, but and which limits their communication potential. But you can actually learn to be you can learn to break out of that habitual voice, and you can choose, I guess, any type of voice you want, sort of. So if you think about actors or politicians, so maybe Denzel Washington, who's a really famous actor, you can hear him in lots of different movies, and a lot of the times he sounds different in lots of different movies where he's playing different roles. And politicians, maybe for example Donald Trump, you can see how confident he sounds and how well he can speak as a leader to to sort of show how he is confident and how he's how he is able to sort of get people to follow him. And so there are basically five core foundations to communicating. And so the first one is your rate of speech. And so your different rates of speech can show different things. So speeding up can show speeding up can signal, I guess, passion, and while slowing down can signal importance, and I guess, and slowing down can also signal that you want the listener to really pay attention to this part. And the second one is volume, and volume signals confidence and authority, and a lot of people are stuck at a level which is I guess 5 out of 10, which is not too loud, but not that quiet either. However, it's still not loud enough, and you need to really speak louder if you really want to be good at communicating, and if you want to show that you're confident, and if you want to show that if you want to, I guess, really show and want people to listen to you. And third is your pitch, where I guess a greater range in pitch also makes your speech more memorable. So if you think about it, if you stay at the same pitch for a long time, then it will obviously get boring. I remember I had a maths teacher called Mr. Dean in I think it was about 2 years ago when I was about 2 years ago, and whenever he talked, he just kept the same tone every single time, and actually almost every single lesson I almost fell asleep because what he said was just so boring, and he just didn't really give any passion into it, and he would speak at the same tone every single time, and it's got really boring, and I didn't even learn much because half the lesson I just wasn't even paying attention. And when the end of term exams came, I didn't do well because I couldn't really pay attention. I couldn't really pay attention to the things that he was speaking about. And so I guess it really goes to show the importance of having a great having difference in tonality and volume and pitch, because it just keeps the listeners engaged. And finally is pausing. And pausing is important because it lets you go over, it lets you think about what you've just said, and also it lets you think, and also it lets the listener think about what you just said, and it just makes your speech that more impactful, because I guess it gives time, like I said, it gives time for them to think about what you said and create space. And next is to have a structure for every time you say something. And so because a framework sort of helps us really, a framework helps us understand things and makes it easy to follow. So something you can use is first, second, or third, and it's just like everyone already knows what that is, but and so it's like easy to use, and also it also makes it clear in your mind as well. And you can also give 2 points for each thing and then one conclusion, and that avoids going on, which is called rambling, where it's not good because like you just end up never finishing. So if you have a clear structure and if you have a clear structure and you give yourself a conclusion at the end of each point, then it makes it very clear and definite. Find the Also is to fix accent and articulation, and so accents can cause words to be hard to understand, or you might mispronounce some, and so what you can do is record a 20-minute video of yourself talking to the camera, and then go over that 20-minute video, and it's useful because you can spot the mistakes that you've made and then fix them and correct them. And yeah, it works as well because you're basically forcing your brain to pick up on the things that you've missed and then go over them a lot of times until you finally remember them. And yeah, clear articulation also signals confidence, and it signals that you know what you're talking about. And finally is managing nerves. And nerves cause so many people to underperform and yeah, it's not do as well as they should have. And there's so many times where I've also experienced this, where I know I could have done a lot better, but I just ended up messing it up because I was so nervous. And yeah, for example, I remember I think last year where I had to perform in front of my year group in a music concert, and yeah, I ended up making so many mistakes because I was afraid because I was afraid of the fact that I would make a mistake, and that basically made thinking about that so much made me make more mistakes. And so yeah, instead of thinking about what other people think about you and what will happen if you make mistakes, instead just focus more on your actual playing and focus more on not really on the audience but more on but just, I guess, yeah, just don't really focus on them but focus more on your music and focus more on what you're going to say if it's a speech. And there's lots of body techniques you can use to manage your stress. So one of them is breathing before and taking deep breaths. And this technique called box breathing, which is used in the military, where it's really helpful because yeah, it's really good for managing your nerves, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, then hold for 4 seconds, then breathe out for 4 seconds, and then yeah, breathe in again for 4 seconds, and you repeat it. And yeah, this is really helpful, and I often use it before maybe presentations or interviews or things like that to really help me manage my nerves. And another one is physical exercise, where you don't really have to like go and do push-ups or run on the spot, but even just, I guess, giving yourself a little shake can really help because it gets rid of that extra tension in your muscles. And then also don't really think about yourself when you're performing. Focus on the thing that you're saying or the thing that you're performing, because you're not really there. You're not really there because they want you to be. You're there because of the things you're going to say and the things and like the value that you're going to provide. So yeah, the audience don't really care about I guess they don't really care about you being there, but they care about the value that you're going to give them and what you're going to say to help them. And so focus more on that instead of just focusing on yourself, sort of. And yeah, it's just so important because maybe in interviews or jobs or yeah, you have to. It's not like, I guess, showing that you're confident and showing that and your impressions and your connections. That I guess they're more important than credentials. Where yeah, sure, you might be good at you might have good grades and you might be good at some stuff, but if you don't come across as confident and you don't come across as like you really mean it, then it won't really be worth much, since they care more about the person, I guess. And so I think overall the main things to take away are that to make a structure for yourself so that it's easy for you to understand and easy for other people to follow, and to improve your articulation and try to correct mispronounced words, and to manage your nerves before, maybe by giving a little shake or breathing before, or just focusing more on the value you're going to provide. I hope you learned something from this, and I hope these points will help you later in life. Thank you for listening.